In this retro review, we talk about the ultimate computer after this. Hello out there, I'm the oldest nerd. And at best, Star Trek makes you stop and think. And I think that this is a prime example of one of those episodes in which it's not a whole lot of action adventure. There's a little of it in there. But what we're talking about is just the man versus machine. And this goes back to the Industrial Revolution. Can a tractor work better than a horse? Can a machine outwork a human being? The old John Henry legend that the driving spikes into the railroad ties could be done better by a machine than it could by a human. And while in the folklore, John Henry was actually able to do so faster than the machine, but it killed him. And we have in this show something that is remarkably prescient as artificial intelligence has become more of a thing. It's always been kind of theoretical, but and I don't think it even had a name at the time that this episode was produced. But the idea that there is such a machine that can think or appear to think is something that is threatening to many people. Now, computers have come along and they've eliminated a lot of people that did kind of jobs that people didn't want to do, and now it's the computers that do jobs that people don't want to do. And so they were heralded as saying, well, we don't have to have all these people that are bored to death doing menial jobs, except that the solution to it was to eliminate those menial jobs. Well, we'll find other jobs for them. And some of them found them and some of them didn't. And so there's always that consideration. There's always something that is going to have to lose what it has in order for technology to gain what it can do. And as is the case with M5, and the replacement would be it for Captain Kirk. And Kirk, performed well by Shatner in here, is questioning his own feelings about this. Am I against this because my instincts tell me that it's dangerous? Or am I against this because I do like the pomp and ceremony and power that comes from being a starship captain? He plays this very well and a lot more subtly than most people give Shatner credit for. And even his conversations with McCoy, am I really that person? And McCoy says, well, the fact that you're asking yourself that question says something, doesn't it? And it does. But in so many places, and as this is being recorded, there are strikes by writers and actors that are concerned that artificial intelligence can replace them. Artificial intelligence can actually write stories. They can actually use it to create images of actors to interpret these parts without actually having to have the people to do it. And it would cause loss of jobs to people, and they don't like this. And whether it's better or not is not even the question. It's a matter of, do I continue to be able to make a living? And unlike Star Trek's time, when you don't have to make a living in order to survive, we do. And certainly this is reflected in this episode. While they don't say it specifically, the idea of somebody losing their job is not something that they would take lightly, not something to say, well, I'll go do something else. I'll go and climb mountains or create art or do something else. And that's a difficult thing. And I think in terms of my own retirement, I worked over 40 years, and I've come to the point to where upon my retirement, I don't actually have to do anything. I have a pension, I have Social Security, I don't have to do anything. And yet, I feel like that I still need to be useful. And part of that I anticipated before I left work. I started this YouTube channel, not really for monetary gain, but just to have something to do, to be substantial, to be useful. And I think that's the question that goes in everybody's mind when it comes to artificial intelligence taking over things that they normally would have done. And do they do it better? Maybe more efficiently, maybe faster, maybe just as well in some cases. But do they take that leap? Do they take a whole different idea that some people get just out of nowhere? Hard to tell. But anyway, it's a wonderful way that they did it in this episode. They did not overplay the concern that Kirk had. They did not too much overplay how M5 reacted. But I do have one little problem in Commodore Wesley, who is saying to his bridge crew, why is Kirk letting this happen, when he should very well know, after no communication back and they're getting hit with full phasers, that this isn't Kirk doing it. It's a malfunction by the machine. It seems that he doesn't even consider that. And while they blow that off because later apparently, he certainly does not follow that up with anything else. But that was the one place in there that I thought was kind of weak. I'd like to know what you think. Please put it in the comments below, and subscribe if you have not. And if you liked it, please click like. It's always helpful. Of course, we'll be here on Friday with reviews of Lower Decks and with Babylon 5, and back on Tuesday with Deep Space Nine, and a week from today with another original series episode review. So, thank you for joining us, and until we talk to you next time, don't go far.